Salam alaikum, everybody, and welcome to this presentation entitled Surviving the Next 100 Years. In the next 15 minutes, we're just going to have a quick conversation, a swift chat, and a high-level look, I would say, at some of the technologies that are going to revolutionize the way that we behave as a human and will have an impact on the next 100 years of humans. We're also going to have a quick conversations about how can we in Algeria make sure that we position ourselves in a strong way to participate in these evolutions for the next 100 years, and how can we get to an Algeria 2.0 moving forward. But before starting speaking about these technologies within the next 100 years, let's just step back a little bit and look at what we have achieved as humans in the last 100 years. And humans have evolved at a much faster rate in the last 100 years than they have ever evolved in the past for thousands and thousands of years. We went through from just a little over 2 billion people on this planet to almost 8 billion today. And we have went through, sometimes in our lifetime, through so many different revolutions, whether it is the computing revolution, whether it is the digital revolution, or even the internet revolution. These revolutions have radically changed the way that we interact with one another, with our environment, and with the world. And that begs the questions of what is coming next. What's the future technologies that have the possibility to completely change the way that we today look at the world as we know it? But before starting and breaking down these technologies, let me give you quick presentations about who I am. My name is Badreddine Ramtani. I am an Algerian born and raised. I currently work as an international growth consultant in Google. My job is to help large clients across emerging markets to grow internationally and to figure out how to interact with the world outside of their domestic markets and take full advantage of the world's economy. I also worked as an international business development manager in the venture capital company Rocket Internet in Germany, and I worked as a consultant every now and then. I am a startup enthusiast, a startup advisor, a digital enthusiast as well, and a speaker across multiple platforms in Algeria. And I'm very happy to be invited by Algeria 2.0 to participate in this great event. That being said, I know I want to quantify my next presentation by mentioning that I understand that there are going to be some technological changes happening within the next 100 years that I will not necessarily be discussing, though they have a major impact on humanity. I'm thinking about space travel, for example, that has the possibility within the next 100 years to have commercial flights happening to lower orbit of space very soon, as per SpaceX's expectations. There's also some radical technologies that are going to revolutionize the way that we transportation ecosystem, the airline ecosystem, or the self-driving cars ecosystem. I will highlight just the things that I know of, the things that I interact with as part of my job at Google, the technologies that I have been involved in during my career. And I will raise just 3 of those in this presentation. The first one is going to be quantum computing. Quantum computing has the opportunity to completely change the way that we interact with the world for the next 100 years and beyond. To me, quantum computers is right up there with the biggest discoveries that happen in the world, including the discovery of electricity. To give you an understanding of how it works, is basically if you look at how computer revolution has completely changed the way we behave. Computers today are based on technologies from the 80s. It's the bits. Bits could either be positive or negative, a 1 or a 0. An electrical signal is sent through a bit to identify whether it is a positive or negative. The combinations of all of these bits is what translate onto something appearing on your screen as a number or letter, for example. It's just the combinations of positives and negatives, 1s and 0s. The problem with that is that the processing power, though it evolved radically in the last couple of years, in terms of how fast it calculates positives and negative bits, it still has a breaking point in which it cannot even go faster in terms of calculations of these bits, the positives and the negatives. The impressive thing about quantum computing is that a bit in a quantum computer can be a 1, 0, or any other character at the same time, without which completely cuts the need for any processing power or any processing speed. Not too long ago, I believe it was last year, Google has announced what is called quantum supremacy. Quantum supremacy is just the idea that a computer was able to make a calculation that a normal computer would have taken 20,000 years to make, while a quantum computer only took a little over 20 seconds to make that calculations. It is no need to say that such a revolution in processing power is going to revolutionize so many different verticals. I'm thinking about the health ecosystem, which one of the biggest challenges in the health research ecosystem is going through all of the possibilities before creating a medicine or a drug. And I think we can all hope that we had a quantum computer fully active today, especially in the situation of COVID that we're going under today, to make sure that the processing of all of these challenges is made faster by a quantum computer. Quantum computer will be able to go through all of the possibilities in an instant and identify which would be the best solution to take forward, whether it is in the creation of a new medicine or drug. Other verticals that can be impacted here are many. You have the financial ecosystem, you have the security ecosystem as well, which could possibly be challenged. Just think of how passwords will completely become obsolete once quantum computer becomes the norm in the ecosystem, or even not the norm, just a little before. Securities through passwords, which would take maybe hours to crack, a quantum computer will be not even bothered by that idea. So security will become a much bigger challenge, and it is safe to assume that whoever will control quantum computer in the future will have quite a significant power on the next revolution of technology and the next computing revolution. There are so many countries at the time and the moment now who are investing heavily in quantum computer. I'm thinking about the US through IBM, Microsoft, Google, and others. In the European Union, you have Germany investing a few in quantum computers along with France, but also you have in China a lot of companies emerging today with that prospect of evolving within quantum computers. So it's very exciting to see where that technology is going to be in the next few years. The second technology that I wanted to highlight in here, and I heard so many speakers throughout the presentations in 2.0 speaking about it, is actually AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning. As a technology, AI is already active in our life, whether it is on your phone that you have on your pocket now, or even the laptop from which you might be possibly looking at this video. AI is already shaping these technologies, is already shaping the way that your screen time is optimized on your mobile, or your battery life is actually optimized, and it's going to further grow and revolutionize so many different technologies moving forward. It's the idea that AI will be able to do pattern recognition, making decision, and taking actions on these decisions at a much faster rate than any human can possibly make. And that will allow for a much faster problem resolution across multiple verticals. And it has also the impact to shape completely new verticals and industries. Again, the health ecosystem. If you think about quantum computing is the hardware, AI will be the software that is going to revolutionize the future. That includes the industries on health, the industries on self-driving cars, which we see today as well, emerging more and more, and other industries as well in the future. The third, and I'm aware of time here, the third technology that possibly will shape the way that we're going to communicate in the future is going to be AR, augmented reality and virtual reality. And these are technologies that have been around for a while now, and it's taken a little bit of lag to launch, but I believe that it will have a much bigger impact moving forward. And it is translated by the way that, for example, one of the largest companies in the world today on the technology side, which is Facebook, is one of the largest investors in VR and AR in the world throughout their Oculus subsidiary. And the way that VR could be possible in the future, or AR as well, would be that we'll be able to just put in a VR headset, an AR headset actually, and what it will start to doing is that you will be able to, instead of today the way we communicate with one another would be through a phone, or as we are doing right now, a video call. But in AR, you will be able to submerge yourself in the reality where the other participant in that call will be physically there, or at least at an artificial level. You'll be able to communicate with them not via voice and vision, but you will be able also to communicate within the space in which you will be operating at a digital level. You'll be able to pick up some stuff, pass them through. That person will be able to handle that stuff that will be passed to them by you. And there will be a much fluent but a new way of communication that is completely going to change the way that we learn, we communicate, and we behave in the future. Even today, with augmented reality, you have some companies such as IKEA, where, by the way, there is a difference between AR and VR. Augmented reality will allow you to, for example, pick up through the app of IKEA. You can open the camera, point it wherever it is in your house, and if you're wishing, for example, to buy a sofa, you'll be able to implement the sofa, and you will see it as is in the space, in the physical space in which you currently are. Virtual reality is the idea of you immersing yourself in completely virtual reality. Augmented reality is adding virtual reality to an existing physical space in which you operate. Maybe I should have given that description a little bit earlier in the beginning. But that being said, there is a potential for these technologies, the three technologies, whether it is the hardware through quantum computer, the software through machine learning and AI, but also new realities of communication beyond just a phone or a laptop through VR and AR. Obviously, there are so many technologies that are out there that have the potential to shape. The most emergent one, I would say, are these three. Moving to the point of how can Algeria participate in that growth, for as far as the path is from where we are today, I think it's a path worth taking. Algeria is in such a great position to participate as a strong player in the world of technologies and revolution. We have a massive land. We are perfectly positioned geographically to communicate directly with every single pole, whether it is the Americas, the Europes, and also the Asia, central to the world. We have a young population that is thirsty to learn, that is tech savvy. I think that the action that we need to be taken first is, most importantly, technology. Is education. We need to make sure that our population is well educated, that we're creating world-class paths for newcomers to be tech savvy, to create new generations of engineers, and to have world-class education systems that enable that to happen. That is absolutely crucial. We cannot succeed without a strong educational ecosystem to push forward this. The second thing that you need is actually an economical ecosystem that allows these newcomers of tech savvy engineers and population to be able to become active within society and within the economy. If you look at the economy of Algeria today, it's almost exclusively dependent on petroleum ecosystem, whether it is the gas or the petrol. We absolutely need to switch that mentality towards digital transformation. We need a banking ecosystem that will allow e-commerce. We need an internet ecosystem that will allow a much faster internet. We need an educational system that brings in the people who yet are not online, to bring them in and to be able to participate in that digital revolution in which we all are, and the free movement of information, and then the education to be multiplied across the rest of the population. As I have mentioned in the beginning, it was a very brief touch onto the technologies, what we need to do as a country. I have the deep belief that the next 100 years are going to be completely revolutionized to ways that we have never thought possible. And I have also the deep belief that there is a possibility and an opportunity for Algeria to take part to becoming 2.0 and participate at a much larger scale in this reality. With that, I'll leave you with this. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to participate in any conversations around this. And I look forward to seeing you next, hopefully in person the next time. Until then, take good care of yourself and goodbye.